Hey folks, this is Tom Norfleet with www.citizenshipquickly.com. Wanted to talk to you. I'm in the beautiful country of St. Kitts. I'm out of the resort area today. This is an area, it's called Birdrock. It's actually not too far from Frigate Bay, but it's not in the resort area. I wanted to show you some houses in here because I sold one to a guy that he got a really good deal on it, just to give you an idea. Now the houses in here, I'm talking about, they're actually selling. People ask a lot more than this, but they're selling for about as low as, well, I sold this one. It was a huge house with 4,000 square feet, 3 apartments, and then you have the main part of the house. Sold it for $230,000 US dollars. That was in, that's been about 2000. It's been the last year that it closed, but I just wanted to give you an idea. And I'm doing this in May 2020. But I wanted to show you just what some of these houses are selling for, because a lot of people don't. It's very hard to get prices in St. Kitts because you don't have. You can't go on the internet and find out what prices have sold for. They just don't do that here. It's you have to go to the courthouse. The courthouse, the records are not in alphabetical order. It's very difficult. And when appraisers get appraisals done, they're not really good, accurate appraisals, because they go by replacement. In other words, cost. In other words, they take the value of the land, and then if you built a new house, what it would sell for, instead of the marketing price, which typically the marketing price is going to be a lot lower. That's what the actual houses are selling for. This house originally was appraised, to give you an example, for $570,000. Not the one in front of you. I'm going to show you here in a minute. I'm going to drive down. But the house was originally appraised for $570,000 US dollars. It was on the market for a long time. It eventually sold for $230,000 US dollars. And that's the reason I'm telling you, getting something appraised in St. Kitts is not what it's selling for. I can tell you what it's going to end up selling for. But I wanted to give you a bottom figure because this is the bottom. You won't find a house this size with this square footage for this type of price. It's one of the best deals I've seen down here. This does not qualify for citizenship. This is out of the resort areas, and it doesn't qualify for citizenship. Plus, if you're not a citizen and you buy this house, you're also going to have to pay the land alien holding license unless you are a citizen of one of the Eastern Caribbean states. And you can look up those countries, which are they're all in the Caribbean. But I wanted to give you this just an idea, because if you're coming to St. Kitts and you're looking at houses, this is a good base point you can look at, because don't think you're going to get any lower than this. This is the house here on the right, and I'm coming up on with the red roof. But like I said, it goes all the way. You can see all the way down. It goes towards. It's got real good ocean views from the backside, and you can see it's got a wall all the way around it. And I'm gonna drive around here. You can see the fencing, but it sold for, like I said, $230,000 US, not EC dollars. And this has 3 apartments, and then the main part of the house, it's got over 4,000 square feet, and this is a really good deal. This was a great deal for this, and real good ocean views. You're not going to typically see houses selling for that price, but this is what that one sold for. As you can see, it goes all the way down, all the way to the next street. It's a pretty big lot. Excuse me, it goes halfway down the next street. There's another lot before you get to that road down there. But it's got real good views, like I said, to the ocean. If you're going to get something in Birdrock, I got a house that's a lot smaller than this. To give you an example, a lot smaller. The house is like maybe half this size for 3. They don't want almost 400, right at 400,000 US. That just gives you an idea of the difference and how good a price this house was. But I'll just kind of drive around here where you can kind of see some of the other ones. Now, like I said, there's import duties on building here. So if you try to compare these houses with Texas or Louisiana, Mississippi, forget it, man. You're not going to do it. There's no income tax here, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. There is no tax on rental income. That means you could own 10 properties here and be totally tax-free in the rental income as far as St. Kitts income taxes go. Now, if you're from the U.S. and you're a U.S. citizen, you can qualify for the foreign earned exclusion living down here, and you're looking at you can tax exempt up to $200,000 a year, actually over $200,000 for a husband and wife, if both of y'all have earned income in St. Kitts. But it's that's using the foreign earned income exclusion, and you can get your taxes possibly down to zero doing that, depending on a lot of factors. If you want to relinquish all income taxes, if you're a U.S. citizen, you would have to relinquish. Now, most of our clients don't relinquish. They maybe get a second passport as insurance purposes, and then they'll come down here and they can do things that non-citizens can't do. Like, for instance, you can buy houses and not have to pay the land alien holding license fee of 10% of the house. That's a lot. Like any of these houses, you actually buy several of these houses, it would be cheaper, or even one or two maybe, it might be cheaper to just get the citizenship and buy a house down here. It depends on how many houses you buy. I'd have to look at the number of houses you buy and what sort of property you buy. But you can get a property down here for $200,000 that qualifies for citizenship, and you can live down here and work, have your own business, and be exempt from taxes. But you have to look at your citizenship. If you're a U.S. citizen, you're still taxed on your worldwide income with U.S. income taxes. And you've also got, if you're from a high tax country like Germany or France that taxes worldwide income, you're going to have to get out of those residency ties tax-wise, because those countries tax your worldwide income. So you have to get out of that trap too. We can show you how to do it. You need to go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and we've got videos on how to do this. No matter which country you're from, we can work with you and get your taxes to zero, close to zero. But it depends on your situation and in what sort of, situation are you willing to possibly move? That's another thing. You can't live in your high tax country and exempt all your taxes. You have to be out of that country, and you got to look at citizenship. You got to look at the residency, what country you're from. There's so many factors you got to look at, but it gives you the possibility if one day, if you did want to relinquish, you could do that. But again, when I say relinquish, I'm talking about U.S. citizenship. If you're from France or Germany, typically you're not going to have to relinquish. You're just going to have to get out of whatever tax ties you have residency-wise, which is a lot easier than giving up citizenship in the U.S., because you don't have to give up your passport if you're from places like Canada, France, Germany, places like this. But I'm going to just kind of drive here around for a few minutes. Also, we don't deal with just St. Kitts. We deal with 70 different countries, 74 actually, that you could consider looking at if you're not interested in St. Kitts. But I like St. Kitts because it crosses all the T's and dots all the I's, because you can get dual citizenship by getting citizenship here. You don't have to relinquish your other citizenship if you get it here. You don't have to learn any language here. They have no language requirement. But the great thing about here is that English speaking is the main language here, so it's very easy to communicate with people. I can't tell you how complicated it is when you have to learn a foreign language. I lived in Panama for several years, and man, I'm gonna tell you something. You waste tons of time trying to basically learn just solving, putting out fires, because you can't speak the language, and it's just a lot of hassle and headaches. It's nice because everybody here speaks English, and it's real close to the U.S. and Canada. You're looking at a 3-hour flight, a 4-hour flight to the U.S. or Canada, depending on which part of those places that you're going to. And so you have to you have to take that in consideration, is you'll be close to wherever you came from, if it's from the U.S. or Canada. Also, if you want more videos as they come out, if you will hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen, we'll get those videos out as soon as they come out. And I'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below and we'll get back with you on that. So the bottom figure here is 230,000 we're looking at, and they go up to probably around maybe 600,000 in here. But you know, things are higher here as far as building materials because of you have import duties because you have no income tax. See here, that makes. But I'll tell you something: the food here, prices are not that much different in the U.S. if you eat fresh fruits and vegetables. That's the key there. I'm gonna kind of just drive up in here where you can kind of see a little bit more of the homes here, and see the styles they've got here. But this is not too far from the beaches here, so you can come in here and go to the beaches if you want to. They're not walking distance from here. If you want to be walking distance, you need to move to Frigate Bay. Frigate Bay is by far nicer. The houses are more expensive. You also avoid the land alien holding license by buying in Frigate Bay. I've given other videos on telling you about this, but Frigate Bay, the Southeast Peninsula, and also any of the citizenship developments, all of those areas, those three areas there escape the land alien holding license. So you can buy there and not have to pay the 10% land alien license fee. You know, if you're not a foreigner. I mean, if you are a foreigner. If you get citizenship here, it doesn't make any difference where you buy. You avoid the land alien holding license of 10%. Okay. And this is just kind of showing you some of the houses. Most of them have walls around them. Huh? Had to get through this construction here. So these are just some of the houses here. And if you get up high here, you've got some pretty good views of the ocean. You can see over here. You've got some good views of the mountains and the ocean up here. One thing I will tell you though, when I don't think you have a real problem with roosters out here. I've never heard roosters out here. And probably the police would come out here if they had them. But you definitely don't have it in Frigate Bay. And I've never heard them out here at all though. You can see the views of the ocean out here. And they've got some real high places that are real good ocean views that are up higher up than here. But this is a good place to live, but if I had a choice myself, I would rather live in Frigate Bay. They just keep up the houses, I think, better, and the prices are higher too. Plus you're close to the ocean and the beaches and stuff that you're not going to have here. But you can look at the starting point at 230,000 at 4,000 square feet, but I don't think you're going to find that deal again. That was a really, really good deal. We've got some other really good deals. So if you, we just sold a house for 63,000, and these houses actually, you know, people think of St. Kitts as an expensive place. And it is if you buy in the resort areas, but typically, I mean, there are houses you can buy down here for $63,000. I just saw one, and they make real good rental houses. And you got to remember too, no income tax on that, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, as far as St. Kitts goes. Okay, if you got a question, just shoot it to me. I'll be glad to help you out, and I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.